Hello and welcome. Yesterday we have studied about the basic concepts of the external material. Today we'll also be knowing to the extension of yesterday's topic, that is again the leftover part of the introduction of the external materials. Yesterday we discussed about the stresses, about the pressure, discussed in detail all the attributes of how stresses are developed, and what are the reactions because of which the stress are generated. Next, we will discuss about the elastic constants, because yesterday I told about the Hooke's law and also discussed there about the elastic constant, about the constant. Though I could not explain in detail what is the elastic constant and how these elastic constants are taken into consideration. So today we'll discuss about the elastic constants. So as the Hooke's law states that within the elastic limit within the elastic limits, stress is directly proportional to the strain. So when we have to replace, suppose we have to represent the stress by sigma and strain by epsilon. So sigma will be directly proportional to the epsilon, and in order to eliminate this proportionality sign, and if we have to put an in the form of equation, then we have to take sigma equals k into epsilon. Sigma equals k into epsilon. So equal sign of equal and k is taken in place of proportionality ratio or proportionality sign. So this k is represents a constant, and this constant is determined in the laboratory or practically, laboratory by practical. So Hooke's law states that within the elastic limits, the stress is directly proportional to the strain. That is, sigma is directly proportional to epsilon. Then substituting sigma equals k epsilon, and this k is defined practically. So this k is found to be elastic constant. This k is known as elastic constant, and this is also known as Young's modulus of elasticity or modulus of elasticity, since it was determined by the scientist Young. It is named after him. So Young's, it is known as Young's modes of elasticity, where stress is directly proportional to the strain, and this E equals sigma equals E epsilon. So E equals sigma by epsilon. So sigma is the stress and epsilon is the strain. So ratio to the stress and strain is known as Young's modulus of elasticity. Okay. Then there is another elastic constant known as modulus of rigidity. Yesterday we discussed about the linear expansion, about the aerial expansion, and about the volumetric expansion. In linear expansion, if a force is applied along the axis of a shaft or a cylinder, the if we apply a pull, the material will distort in such a way that its length will be increased by delta L, and L is the original length. So delta L by L ratio to the original ratio to the chain length and to the original length will be known as strain. Whereas stress is known as force applied per unit area, P by A. So epsilon is equal, epsilon is equal to epsilon equals delta L by L in case of linear expansion. In case of aerial expansion, the strain is given by delta A over original area. Delta A, change in area divided by original area. If force is applied in such a way that distorts, it changes area of the force is applied on a particular area, and it changes the area. So this is known as aerial distortion, or strain is given as delta A by A. So in that case, modulus of rigidity is given by stress upon strain, where the ratio of these two change and original is given by strain. So first was Young's modulus of elasticity, second is modulus of rigidity, and third is bulk modulus K. And mu is Poisson ratio. One is taken along the length, another is taken along the area, and the third one is taken bulk modulus taken along the volume. So these three constants have different values. E, G, and K have different values for ductile materials and for brittle materials. So they have a complete list. In that list, all the modulus of elasticity, modulus of rigidity, and bulk modulus are mentioned, as well as Poisson's ratio is also determined. So elastic constants are used to determine the stress strain theoretically. Elastic constants are used to obtain stress strain relationship. For a homogeneous and isotropic material, the number of elastic constants are four, and those are E, G, K, and mu. Number of homogeneous and isotropic material, the number of elastic constants are four, that is E, G, and K. E, Young's modulus; G, modulus of rigidity; K, bulk modulus; and mu, Poisson's ratio between these two. So, come for homogeneous and isotropic material, and number of independent elastic constants are two, E and mu, number of independent. In case of isotropic material, number of elastic constants are two. These will not be discussed in detail, just for the idea of, just for the sake of idea, because these will be taken into consideration while we study material of sciences. So in material, there are three types of material: isotropic, orthotropic, and anisotropic. So for isotropic material, we have two elastic constants, and for orthotropic we have 9 elastic constants, and for anisotropic number of elastic constants we have 21. And all these are discussed in detail in material science. Here only we have to know that what are these elastic constants and how they are applied while calculating the stresses and strain in the material. So next is relationship between elastic constants. Relationship between elastic constants. So first relationship between elastic constants, Young's modulus of elasticity E and rigid modulus of rigidity G is given by E equals twice G 1 plus mu, where mu is the Poisson's ratio. Mu is the Poisson's ratio, and mu will come like this: E equals twice G 1 plus mu, and derivation of this formula is not is beyond the scope of the syllabus. So just you have to know about the relationship between these elastic constants E, G, and mu. So next is E equals 3k1 minus 2 mu. In case of G and E, the relationship between G and E, and in case of bulk modulus K, E equals 3k1 minus twice mu, and equating these two, G equals 2G 1 plus mu equals 3K 1 minus 2 mu will give a relationship between K and G, eliminating mu. So that what we'll do, we will eliminate mu from here. We'll find the value of mu from the first equation, and then we'll keep the value of mu in the second equation. Then we'll find a relationship between E, G, and K, eliminating mu. That is the Poisson's ratio. So that is beyond the scope of the syllabus, so we are not going to discuss anymore here. So for the sake of the introduction, we must know what are the modulus of rigidity, what is the modulus of elasticity, modulus of rigidity, and bulk modulus, and also Poisson's ratio. So these will be, there will be a separate table given at the time of examinations, number different values of these E, G and K, C, mu, etc. will be given while the question is given to you. So value of any elastic constant must be greater or equal to 0. It could be 0 or it could be 1. It would be lying between 0 to n, 0 to 1. For there are a number of values are defined, values are given. The Poisson's ratio is given 0 to half, 0 to half for a material that is brittle. Mu is Poisson's ratio. Which of the following are correct? Mu, the value of mu lies between 0 to half or minus half. So, question, what is Poisson's ratio? Which of the following are correct? 0 to mu to minus half. So, we will take 0 to half value. It could be either side. So, here the coefficient, the Poisson's ratio is explained in detail. The list is given for material, specific material. Poisson's ratio, mu, the values are determined practically in the lab, and they are found as, for the value for the material cork it is 0, then for concrete it is 0.1 to 0.2 Poisson's ratio, then for metals it is 1 by 4, or that means 0.25, 0.25 to 0.333, that is 1 by 3. Then for rubber, wax and paraffin it is 0.5. So the Poisson's ratio will be depending upon the rigidity of the material. How much rigid it is, it would have lesser values. For cork, it is assumed it is 0. Otherwise, for concrete, it is taken as 0.1 or 2. For metals, they are less rigid as the concrete. So in the concrete, the concrete is the most rigid material. So metals are slightly expandable as compared to concrete. So metals have Poisson's ratio 0.333 to 0.25, and rubbers, wax, paraffins have more stretchability, are more elastic, so they have Poisson's ratio 0.5. These will be given in the examination. If question is given, these values will be given and you have to take the values from there. Now come to the upper and lower limit of G and K in terms of E. So Poisson's ratio we have defined, it is 0 to 0.5. It will be maximum in case of rubber, wax and paraffin 0.5, and in case of cork it will be 0. So when mu is 0, the value of G will be G equals E by 2. G equals E by 2 for the cork. And if it is maximum in case of rubber, wax or paraffin, elastic materials, the value of mu, Poisson's ratio will be E by 3. Whereas the value of K in terms of E by E will be E by 3 and infinity. For Poisson's ratio, when Poisson's ratio is 0, the value between K and E will be K equals E by 3, and when mu equals zero point 0.5, Poisson's ratio is 0.5, the value of K would be infinite, because it can be seen from here 1 minus twice mu. If we place 0.5 in place of mu, that is Poisson's ratio, that is 2 into 0.5, that is 1, and 1 by 1, 1 by 1 is 0, 3 multiplied by 0 is 0, E by 0 is undefined, so the value of K will be undefined in case the Poisson's ratio is 0.5. So this is the basic structure, how the value of G will range in terms of E. The value of G will range from E by 3 to E by 2. That is 1 by third, 1 by 3 of the Young's modulus of elasticity to the 1 by 2 or half of the Young's modulus of elasticity. So for metals, mu Gk are given as 1 by 4, 1 by 3, G 0.4 E, G 0.375 E, and K 0.65 E. Mu, G, and K in case of metal. Since we will take The Poisson's ratio is 1 by 4 and 1 by 3. It will range from 0.5 to 0.333, 0.333, 0.333. So the value of G will be zero point 0.4 in case value of mu is 1 by 4 or 0.25, and value of K will be 0.67 E in terms of E. And if the value of mu is 1 by 3, the value of G will be 0.375 E. And the value of K will be E if Poisson's ratio is 1 by 3. So the value, when the value of mu will range from 1 by 4 to 1 by 3, the value of K will range 0.67 E to 0. E. And whereas the value of G will range 0.5, zero point 0.4 to 0.375. So this way we can conclude that modulus of elasticity is greater than bulk modulus, and that is modulus of rigidity. So highest is the modulus of elasticity, then bulk modulus, then modulus of rigidity. So definition of elastic constant, as we already have known, as we already have explained, that normal stress into longitudinal stress, that is stress directly proportional to strain, then Young's modulus when the strain is taken along the length of a particular part or particular product, then the Young's modulus of elasticity will come into effect, and this will be the way of defining a relationship between sigma and epsilon, and this is Young's modulus of elasticity. Longitudinal strain means different longitudinal strain, uh, because strain is of three types. One is longitudinal, another is aerial, and third is volumetric. So longitudinal strain is when the material is pulled from both the directions or compressed from both the directions. It will be either it will be expanding or compacting. So delta L will be the change in length divided by L length, origin of length. So this is the Young's modulus of elasticity. Then come to the practical values of the Young's modulus of elasticity. Young's modulus of elasticity for mild steel is given as 200 gigapascal. Yesterday we have discussed in last topic we have discussed in last lecture. We have already known what is the gigapascal and how stresses are. Uh, what are the units in the of giving the stresses. So we have seen that Young's modulus of elasticity for mild steel is 200 gigapascal, for cast iron it is 100 gigapascal, and for aluminium it is 200 by 3 gigapascal. That means the Young's modulus of elasticity for aluminium is 1 by third of mild steel of Young's modulus of elasticity of mild steel, and we can say here 200. The values you can see the Young's modulus 200, 100, and 200 by 3. So this can be said that 200 by 3, that is ms Young's modulus E Young's modulus for mild steel divided by 3. So this can be seen that aluminum has value of elastic Young's modulus of elasticity for mild steel divided by 3, whereas in cast iron it is half of the mild steel. Cast iron has Young's modulus value half of the mild steel. So these were the basic elastic constants that are to be determined and that are to be taken in care while doing the numericals. And second is shear modulus, as we discussed that the as per Hooke's law, the stress is directly proportional to strain, and when it comes to the area, I told that if a pressure is applied alongside the length, pressure or pull is applied alongside the length, that means the force, that means the change in length will be taken into consideration. If area wise, if we are applying pressure such that this whole area is under strain, so the change in area delta A divided by original area will give us the uh, aerial strain, and known as bulk modulus of shear modulus of elasticity. So you can see shear modulus of elasticity. We have shear stress directly proportional to shear strain, and this is the value of G, that is shear modulus of shear modulus of elasticity. Okay, so this will find the value of G. G is tau over gamma shear stress by shear strain. Then come to G slope of tau versus gamma curvature curve up to 27 bulk modulus of elasticity. Third type of elasticity is bulk modulus of elasticity, and this will be taken into consideration when shear volume and volumetric stresses and strain are taken into consideration. This is basically all the three dimensions. So in that case, bulk modulus of elasticity will be taken into consideration. So these are three types of modulus of elasticities. Then comes to Poisson's ratio. Poisson's ratio is the ratio between two types of strains. One is lateral strain, another is longitudinal strain. Lateral strain means the strain alongside the length, and longitudinal strain, that is along the area of the part. So under test conditions, these are the test conditions, and this is a question numerical problem in which the values are given. A prismatic bar of diameter 30 mm is subjected to an axial tensile load. Tensile load is given 500 kilonewton. Uh, L is given as 30 mm, 30 millimeter, and it is found that change in length is 29. Final length is 29.591 mm. Determine the following. Number one, length is equal to 1. Show G is equal to 70 GPa, and again modulus of elasticity we have to find, and mu Poisson's ratio, change in length. So first of all, change in length is found. 30 minus 29.591 mu will give us the change in length, and again we know that there is a relationship between 2g, mu and e. Substituting these value, we'll find, first of all we have to find the change in length, and change in length is given 3 point. Change in length not given. Change in length is we have to find 30 mm minus 29.591. This way delta L will come around 0.400 or 0.3 uh, 0.409 0.409 mm. So this is 0.409 length. Change in length is found. Then substituting this value for length is equal to 1 meter. So G is equal to, so substituting these value in the given equations, we will find the final values. So simple, you have to keep the values and then everything will be found. Simple, there are no manipulations, only basic questions is there, basic values are there, and you have to keep the basic values, do it, and if you are still puzzled, you can get in touch with me. Then this is the this is all about the introductory part of the strength of material. What is stresses, how these stresses are developed, and what are the different types, what is the Hooke's law, and what are different types of modulus that we have discussed in today's lecture. So in our next lecture we will be discussing more